Hello and welcome to Sim.bc, where right now it's 1:05. Oh my days, we're early, even though it's really late. But that's just the nature of things now, isn't it? Now, to begin with, I would like to look for some recognition, yeah? I would like to look for some comfort, I would say. Go to so far as say that, because I'm sure that you've been in this situation, that there is not quite something as horrible, as bloody horrific in your life, yeah? That doesn't really mean anything, as like having a bit of dust combined with a bit of hair. Yeah, isn't it? That's probably the worst thing that you can have laying around in your house. And I'm not just talking purely from a cleaning point of view, from a cleaning perspective, where I have some rather interesting and definitive opinions about it as well. No. One actually managed to sneak past me, so to say. So as I was walking around in my building, I was about to say, in my apartment, it kind of stuck to my sock. Now, you might be thinking, that's a bit of innocent old fun. The worst thing that can happen is that, you look at it and it looks a bit unclean. No. What my highly developed and sophisticated brain thought of when it saw this dust combined with hair, looking at it was like, that must be a spider. And then the next logical conclusion is that since I'm a highly evolved being, right, as all other human beings, me being bigger and more evolved and in the control of the situation, I should be able to look at it, get a closer look and be like, no, first of all, it's not a spider. Second of all, even if it is, it's not that big of a threat. Now, my body reacted something along the lines of, it's a spider! And then when I didn't even get to the second step. I did after I was, jumping around frantically in the apartment. Not what I'm the proudest of, right? But that's just the way it goes. And I thought share a bit of that, ground the entire situation, ground the entire discussion, right? Get it down to a human level. But what I would like to talk about today, I promise you, we will get into it. Before I actually mention what it is, I would like to provide you with some context yet again, some pretext, if you will, to say that usually I'm pretty sure of the world, how it works, why everything is as it is. I got it all pretty much figured out, right? Because I'm a 22-year-old, right? I'm a fresh graduate. I'm not even a student anymore. I mean, piece of piss. I can view the world and tell you exactly how everything works. Obviously not. And today is going to be one of those specific reasons where it is clear that I have no expertise nor experience within the field. It's just something that I find to be rather odd, actually. So if there's any given video, and well, there are actually a couple to choose from, but where I will need to eat my words in hindsight, so to say, a couple of years down the line, this might be one of them, purely on the basis that I'm talking out to me. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So together with this, I have a bit of a cup of red, as you see, cup of red tea. It was just one of those days. Yeah, you, my fellow tea drinkers, you know what I'm saying, right? Because I'm experienced with these things. It's not at all that I'm just picking a random tea through the cupboard and being like, oh, I wonder what this do. Yeah, totally. Anyway, I think that's enough stalling for today, right? What I'm trying to talk about is the idea of getting a check at work. Yeah. Because when I was asking for my salary at the workplace that I'm currently at, I was like, hey, how am I going to actually up my salary? Because they hadn't actually asked for any of my bank situation, any of my banking contacts. And I thought, maybe they have some form of system where they can get it from your personal security number. I'm sure they're able to, right? If they really know what they're doing. And if that's legal. But no. So I asked them just to be sure, and they were like, no, you have to fill in these things. But that will take a whole lot of time, and that will leave the bank, the bank people, they operate in a certain way. Now, I'm biased towards being like, yeah, bank people are great. However, some of the people that I work with who are, a bit of the higher ups are like, bank people, don't really like them, they don't really fancy them. So what you would like to do, right? Instead of you giving me your information and me sending it to the head office, to the HQ, so to say, where I work, and then them sending it to the bank, and they going to accept it, then send it back to HQ, and then send it back here, and then him telling me that it's all through. He said, instead, I'll give you a check, and you can just go and check that in, so to say, in the bank, and that will be all. And then you will have your money. I just thought, isn't check a bit weird, because when I'm thinking Czech, right, I'm thinking 50s, 1950s. I get that vibe. Yeah, this is still too hot. I need to start making the cup, you know, a few minutes or like 10 minutes before I start, because this is bloody horrible. What am I gonna do with tea time with Sim if I can't have any tea, yeah? Anyway. So I'm getting this kind of 1950s vibe when I'm seeing a Czech, right? Maybe 1960s to 70s to 80s, whatever, right? But right now I'm thinking digitalization though. Isn't that like two thumbs fresh for everybody? Because it's less paper and it should be less work, should be less demanding, and so on and so forth. And this amount of time that you argued, and I'm not saying you like you, but you like the general you. I'm referring to the conversation that I had. The amount of time that it would take for me to get my money into my bank account doing it this way instead of the check would be like, what, 4 to 5 banking days? I have faith in the banking system, and that's what you would say, it wasn't the opposite of a conservative estimate. That's like a huge array of time that can go past by. But I was thinking like it's maximum like what, 4 or 5 banking days, and now it's the 8th of June or 8th of July. So if I give it to you today, right, or is it the 9th? Can't really tell. Is it the 9th? Oh, am I gonna look like a bloody fool? Yes, it's the 9th. It's the 9th of July, so if I give it to you now, I will have it at the latest, probably at the 14th, you know, the opportunity for them to put in money in my bank. And I was like, why don't we just do that instead? So now I'm going through all the different steps to do that, and I can just tell you, as of now, it seems rather enjoyable. It sounds really smooth, sounds rather easy. It feels easy, right? Because I don't have to do that much. And I have faith in the banking system as it is, because, you know, economics. But that kind of takes us to the general theme of what I wanted to discuss, and this is where I might need to eat my words. Yeah, not only checks versus getting paid online, so to say digitally, but also this entire idea of digitalization versus having it in physical form. Now, I'm all for the open market, so to say, open trade when it comes to the international market. Less tariffs and less substitution. Why? Well, because it's not substitution, or is it called substitution? When you kind of help your export in a country. Anyway, I'm kind of against that, because I'm believing in the specialized different countries, right? The freer the market, the better. And in my mind, applying the same mindset, yeah, the same train of thought into digitalization, I'm thinking digitalization has so vastly more sophisticated, or rather, so much more of a quick response rate than the physical counterpart, that shouldn't digitalization be the go-to for everything? Because that shows up a freer market, let's say, a freer flow of information that can flow, as I said, freely throughout, over boundaries, let's say, over different borders of different nations, over different countries, over different continents, wherever, over across the globe. Where there is internet, you can probably send something through the internet, right? So why do I even have the option of getting it in a physical form when I will get the kind of receipt on how much I got in my latest salary? I will get that in a physical form. So why would I need any other form of physical, you know, things in order to get it? It's just weird to me, right? That's a thing. So yet again, the theme I'm taking up is that I'm all for and all pro digitalization of pretty much anything and everything versus the physical topic, and I'm versus the physical topic, the physical counterpart. Yeah, that's how we're gonna say it, the physical counterpart. Now, obviously, the problem is that what if everything shuts down? Well, we're in the 21st century. Now, I wouldn't say that there is a 0% chance of that happening. I would just say that there is probably a greater risk for a storehouse with all your sensitive information to burn down than all servers in the world crashing simultaneously. It's just my estimate, right? Yet again, 22-year-old, I pretty much got the world figured out for me, laying at my feet at my every command. No, obviously not. But that's my feeling. That's my gut feeling at the moment, right? So why not prefer to give me everything digitally? And that raised the question of why do I even have papers anymore if everybody has access to some form of smartphone or tablet or computer, or there are public computers that you can use, especially, and I'm talking within the boundaries and culture of where I live, so to say, in the nation where I'm where I'm occupied at the moment, and I would even go so far to say the entirety of Europe, because there are public places where you can access the computer and so on and so forth, the internet to a certain extent. To a bare minimum. So why don't we have that and try to replace all paperwork with just digitalized paperwork? Now I know that's in the works, right? Most people do that by now. But still, this kind of mentality being met with it through a bit of an older, what should we say, an older audience, let's say, an older manager saying that, 30 years ago, whatever, some years ago when I started, this is how I did it. And now I'm like, I'm all against that mentality as well. It worked for me 30 years ago. It should probably work now as well. The world has changed. Open your eyes. That's just the way it is. He or she ain't gonna give out that, yeah. Probably knows that, alright, but thought that, I'm in the system. I know how to do it. Let's just do it that way. It's easier for me. Well, I'm thinking, try to change. Make a change. Anyway, what I'm really trying to get down to, which I probably had a hard time pointing down, was the entire idea of digitalization versus physical counterparts and contributions. Why not have it all as much as we can in a digital form and try to reduce the amount of physical counterparts that we have? And I believe that is the way we're going about administration today. Most companies, most governments do that and are working towards that very thing. While some, important paperworks are kept in physical form just because of this risk that it might crash, everything might crash, or if you get hacked potentially. But I'm all for digitalization. So, yes, that was it for today. I know, it was very weird. It wasn't really a discussion, it was just more me pointing out a form of standpoint I have on this, but just because I interacted with it and I was like, this is so weird. And I would like to know if there's any of you out there who have a different opinion about the entire matter, because I would truly like to try and widen my perspective and open up the mindset that I have to the physical counterpart, why it might be more important than I recognize it to be. So if you agree with me, leave a comment in the comment section below saying why I was right. And if you do not agree with me, then please, even more important, leave a comment in the comment section below telling me why it's important. I would like to know. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, well, use that power that YouTube gave you and dislike the video. You're in full entitled to, right? And yeah, have a nice one, mates. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, with tea that is drinkable. The moment of truth. Just give me a minute. Oh yeah, it's still too hot. Have a nice one, mates. Bye.